my name is Annie Hirsch, and this is my wife, Val, and we're here at Staying Alive here in Cocoa Beach, an EES center that we've discovered, and we have a miracle to share with everyone.
So we just moved here a few months ago from Colorado, and we had a great friend who is a massage therapist, and I had lots and lots of health issues with my thyroid and serious ones, and I said, I just wish somebody had a magic wand that they could wave to help me feel better. And she says, I have one for you. And she introduced us to a center, an EES center in Colorado Springs. We started going and seemed to feel better, nothing radical, but I wasn't as sick anymore and things seemed to get better. Before we left, our doctor had diagnosed her with some very, very serious heart issues.
So, little background, I'm a retired veterinarian. So I'm very knowledgeable of medical conditions and that type of thing. And in April, I was diagnosed with severe cardiac disease with calcified vessels, and the one test that really shocked me is they did an angiogram and told me I had 3 out of 5 vessel disease, meaning that 3 out of my 5 major coronary vessels were severely narrowed, blocked, whatever you want to call it, on that test, compromised. The blood was not flowing properly. So here I am freaking out, and I know we're leaving, and in days. So we saw a cardiologist in the Springs before we left, and he said, you're not having any heart pain. You seem pretty good. Obviously, overweight. We need to lose some weight, but they'll start you on these medications. Don't stress yourself. When you get where you're going to settle, find a cardiologist and follow up with them. And that was the last week of April. But anyway, just 2 weeks ago, we hooked up with a cardiologist here in Cocoa Beach, and he took one look at my scans from April and essentially said, what was that guy thinking? Your blockages or your narrowing is so severe, we need to do a CAT scan on you right now. And I can tell you right now, you're probably looking at stents and most likely a bypass.
We were really excited.
Yeah, that was great news. Again, I had a couple weird bouts of hypotension that didn't make any sense, but no heart pain, no shortness of breath. Obviously, we hadn't been exercising at all, so you get tired easily, but no cardiac symptoms at all. We need a cardiac catheter, and we need to figure out what's going on in those vessels. And we said, okay. The medications they put me on were more preventative rather than curative, and we knew the power of ES, and we said, it's time for us to make an effort to do it. So we came up and bought a month-long package. I think it was a 40-hour package, and we went through with, each of us went through about 13 hours of that package, and
we had to drag our sister
for 2 sessions. She got about 6 hours of our sessions for her.
And is feeling better already too.
Yeah, and she was really feeling bad before she started up again, and now she's so much better just from the 2 sessions that she did with us. So the rest of it my wife can share, because I was in la la land from the drugs.
When I had been waiting in a room they put me in, and somebody came in and says, has the doctor been to see you yet? Has the doctor been to see you? And I'm looking at my phone seeing what time it was, and it had only been an hour, and I expected her to be in there for several hours at minimum, because he was sure he was going to do stents at minimum. And I said, no, he hasn't been in. Oh, well, come out and see your wife. And they had her in the hallway, and she was in a real happy place. And I said, we're going to have conversations you won't remember.
I didn't say this right.
But they finally went, let me get the doctor. And they went and got the doctor. And he came, and his eyes were kind of big, and he was just shaking his head, just almost bewildered. And he said, we didn't have to do anything. I went in there, and there was not one single thing that I needed to do. He said, I found one little teeny tiny piece of plaque, that's it. There was nothing for me to do. No stents. We didn't need to send her for bypass. Nothing. There was nothing for me to do. And the whole time he was shaking his head and looking up and trying to figure it all out. And he was completely at a loss. And I said, so does that mean I can take her home then? He goes, yeah, you can take her home. And we were expecting hospitalization. We were expecting cracked open chest and the whole 9 yards. And he just shook his head and said, I don't understand. And he walked away. And I'm like, well, at the next appointment, we'll tell you what happened and why it happened. But we were shocked, and every day since then, we look at each other and say, wow, we're not having to nurse you back to health. We're not having to worry about a cracked open chest. We're not having to worry about any of that. And we are grateful every day, and there's absolutely no doubt in either of us about what happened.
Nothing changed between other than our EES sessions. And I fully expect him, we have a follow-up with him this week, next week, and I fully expect him to take me off the medications they put me on, because I don't think I need them anymore.
We are so grateful. From the moment my friend said she had a magic wand she could introduce us to, it's been nothing but that for my health, and now this we call a miracle. Me feeling better and better, that's a miracle too, but this is tangible. Look at a test, miracle, and it's amazing. And watching my sister going through several years of feeling awful, and now her feeling better and better and better. And she hadn't had any sessions in a few months, and just coming with us for 2 sessions, she just shakes her head every time she sees us and says, wow, I'm feeling so much better.
So get online, look up Staying Alive, and you're going to find a package that you can afford, and just do the most that you can. We're doing an overnight this week. We've wrangled in 2 of our friends. We're going to do an overnight between the 4 of us. And next month, month after that, we'll probably do another 40-hour package. So.
It's worth it. It's worth every penny, and things can happen that you will be absolutely amazed by, and you'll be grateful.